Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. In this video today, I'm going to show you what a real Doomsday Castle looks like. I'm here in St. Augustine, Florida at the Castillo de San Marcos. Okay, this is some serious firepower and some serious fortifications. Now, with that TV show that just came on, Doomsday Castle, I've seen all the ludicrousness and the craziness. I wanted to show you guys something that is actually a Doomsday Castle and has stood the test of time and warfare. So let's take a look at it now. Now what you're about to see right here is the outer lying walls of the castle. You can see that they had all sorts of defensive lines, and I'll get you a better view once we get up here, but it's really nice that if the enemy was going to have to siege the fort, they've got a long walk to get up to the walls, and they had plenty of protective barrier around the top, and I like the fact that they had a watchtower on all the corners. So here is the moat in between. Great defenses. Have to enter this first structure before you can cross over to the main entrance. So one more opportunity to stop marauders before they'd come in. And here's the first drawbridge, looking at it now from the backside, going across. So you had to get across the moat and then through the first structure into the main building. Here's a drawbridge. Excellent craftsmanship. Protected from gunfire. Closing door. Now here's an inner look at the door to go across and block. The drawbridge was protected very well. Here's the open courtyard. Give you a panorama view here. Just astounds me at the quality when this was done and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. All right, let's go up on the gun deck and see what kind of toys we've got for repelling marauders. One thing that you might want to take into notice here is that this fort only has one way up to the top and one way down. So if marauders did make their way in through the gate, they're going to have a hard-pressed battle to make it up this stairway. Here's an overhead view of the courtyard. Now, from the gun port here, as we look out over the city, you can see here you have the first structure we walked into here previously. Then we have a moat, and then we have a secondary layout wall here to protect against marauders. These people thought this through very well. Not only that, if you notice from my angle and perspective, the gun fortifications crisscrossed each other, very well protected against enemies coming from land or sea. So we'll walk on around, check out some more here in a minute. Here we're coming on a mortar, I guess you could say an early 105, 155 howitzer of the day, and very destructive piece of equipment. As you can see right here into the belly of the beast. The thing is probably, I'm going to say the ball that went down into this is probably a 12-inch, very large. Here you can see the adjustment measurements. Modern warfare has come a long way compared to the antiquity of the day. And I give you a point of origin right there of where that the cannons would come up to the range to shoot. Awesome piece of implement. And do you notice something right there, the date stamp? Well, obviously they've wrote that in now, but serious piece of equipment right here. And the adjustments. They have this blocked off at the moment, but here would be a protected overlook, and as you can see here, now I'm at standing level with my arms raised, and they have the moat, secondary defenses, and then right here they even have a palisade wall, kinda. So I mean, there's just all sorts of protection there. But now, mind you, I don't believe that wood wall that was there in the beginning. That might be a reconstruction of what was originally there, but just extremely high walls. I mean, you couldn't even take a siege ladder to this thing because spanning that moat would be too far, and not only that, if you did get it drained out, you know, getting up that thing and getting across the wall, just be too much loss of life, too much. I want you to take a look at this structure, the shale and all that has been put into this to hold it together. Literally built for taking a beating. Here we have a patrol.
They're fixing to shoot it, like this is the brigade.
Where are they shooting it at?
On top.
We're about to see some firepower go across here in just a minute. Here would be the view you would see from the top of the deck for taking on enemies, pirates, or whatever come your way by sea. Wide open view. Here's about to be the demonstration of firing the cannons.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sir.
I want to welcome you all to Castillo de San Marcos, National Monument, part of your National Park Service. And welcome to our presentation of the 1735 Spanish artillery drill. Folks, what we're going to fire is a 6-pound iron gun. Historically, it's a small gun for this fortress, but it's still at a good range. You can fire a 6-pound iron ball of iron the size of a baseball with 3 pounds of black powder behind it from our gun deck here, accurately at a target as far away as our lighthouse stands today, 1.5 miles away downrange. And as I said, this is a small gun. The standard guns, the 16s, 18s, and 24-pounders of bronze or iron can reach out to targets up to 3.5 miles downrange. So at the height of the Castillo's history, with almost 60 guns around this deck, that meant this fortress could defend itself, the city, and all the approaches to the city by land and by water. And that's one of the major reasons why Castillo de San Marcos was able to serve 6 different flags, be in 15 battles, and never have lost a single one. Only way she ever changed hands by military and political treaty, and that's it. Now folks, I'm the only park ranger dressed out for this. Everybody else on the crew, they're volunteers. They're folks just like you, came out, saw us doing this, and if it weren't for them, we could not bring history to life here at Castillo. So if you would join me and give me a hand for coming out today so we can do that. Lastly, folks, one thing, all of you for coming out, making this part of your holiday weekend. Hope you enjoy your time here at Castillo de San Marcos. Entren la cuchara en el cañón. Tráiganos si estar cargado. Pasen all nada al cañón. Póngase a poner a batería al cañón. Cañón a batería. Póngase para a puntería. Apunten. Número para fuego. Otto! Y sobre la mecha, ¡Henry! ¡Fuego! ¡Al fuego, sin lugar! ¡Vámonos, prolongues!
Joe, appreciate your time. Get a little info about the fort. I want to let this gentleman tell you a little bit about this castle and some of the battle it went through and how this has stood the test of time.
Well, the Castillo has been in place for over 300 years. It was first built and started breaking ground October 7th, 1672. It took 23 years to build, and that's its original format. As it stands today, as a result of 11 years of additional work that was done to the fort in the 18th century. But it's served 6 different flags, been in 15 battles, never lost a single one. At one point there were as many as 60 guns on top of the fort, but they pretty much operated in support of a bunch of outworks and defensive works that defended the city and kept it from being brought into close contact with the enemy. So yeah, pretty much everybody from the Spanish all the way through the Confederacy to the United States has had this fort. It's probably the only piece of property in the entire state of Florida that's never been out of the hands of the government in one way, shape, or form.
I found it interesting that in World War II the military even used it.
Oh yeah, the Coast Guard, almost all St. Augustine is involved in some way. St. Augustine is considered the birthplace of the American Coast Guard Auxiliary. So you've got the U.S. Coast Guard Training Center using classroom space downstairs. The Coast Watcher organization was using all this area out here. They had almost a small tent city with radio antennas and everything else to keep an eye out for U-boats all along the coast of Florida. And later on, when they finally got jeeps, we've got pictures of a auction of horses that they had acquired for the original Coast Watchers to go up and down the coast with. They sold them off at auction here in 1943.
This is an amazing structure. I've been here one other time as a child, and I got to say, the TV show on that's on now, Doomsday Castle, could hold a lot to this place.
Well, it's kind of a running joke between me. We've got about 200 reenactors that help us do stuff like this. The cannon firings, musket firings, bring military life to life here at Castillo. But it's kind of a running joke that the word is, if everything drops in the pot, flag goes up, everybody grabs everything that's sharp and pointy or goes bang and makes their way here to the Castillo, and then from here we figure it out.
Yeah. Neighbor, I appreciate your time.
Not a problem. You're very welcome.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed our trip to Florida, and I hope you enjoyed the castle, because I really enjoyed touring through it and seeing it, because this thing has survived battles many, many times over. It never changed hands except for through a treaty. I mean, this thing has stood the test of time. So I just thought it was really cool to show something that's actual historical and actually has seen hard times come and go, because, you know, I don't care a bit for that show Doomsday Castle, and I thought, you want to see a castle? This is a castle. It's probably the best national park I've ever visited, and so make sure to check them out if you're in St. Augustine, Florida. It's something really worthwhile to see with your family. So until we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel, I hope you have a most blessed day in Yahushua's name.